days. We want to talk about Week 16's Cowboys over Tampa. They won again, got all the way to 7-8. Still feels a little bit like too little, too late, but win's a win. So there were some things that were nice to see. But you've gone back to your defense playing at a playoff team level for sure. Cooper Rush is still one of the best, maybe the best backup quarterback in the NFL. And he works really well where he is. I'm not saying quarterback controversies. I think that's ridiculous. Dak can do the special stuff. Cooper can do the regular stuff, and that's great. But you need special to consistently win against good teams, and he's more the guy for that. So we'll see moving into next year. But for this game, y'all were able to turn over Tampa twice. Seems like that was the big difference maker in this game. Coming up clutch there, 4 sacks on Baker had to have helped. This was kind of a Dallas football kind of thing, except for you reverted. I've commented before this year that Tampa's not the easiest team to run on, but y'all really did not have an easy time running on them at all. We'll see moving forward. I think it's just them. Like that is, it's always been a Todd Bowles thing. It's like we're not going to let you run on us if we can at all help it. So we'll see moving forward. But what did you think of this game as you got to watch it?
I mean, the first response would be surprising, right? Like you said, the defense is playing great, and that's exciting to see. It's one of those things that's a beautiful frustration. Because it kind of feels, it's hard not to feel like it's a little bit wasted in this particular season. But it's beautiful to watch. I think Tampa Bay came into this game doing exactly what I would have done, which is, hey, let's shut down the run. Rico Dowdle's starting to get traction. He's starting to be an impact factor. Let's make a backup quarterback beat us. And amazingly, Cooper Rush continues to surprise me and amaze me. I mean, he really is playing pretty good football. I mean, they just said we're going to take away the running game, and he was able to take a team and win against a playoff team. That's pretty hard to complain against. He still doesn't do that whole awe-inspiring 5 touchdowns, 450 yards passing kind of thing, but man, if you want a field general kind of dude who's going to sit in the pocket and throw the ball and not make big mistakes, I have a hard time complaining with Cooper Rush. CeeDee Lamb's going to be the story of this game. CeeDee's made a big impact. That shoulder of his has obviously been the big thing, and now he is going to be out. And so, I think that that's one of the things we're going to have to just deal with is, we now don't have our number one weapon left. So it was good to see. Cooper spread the ball around more because the ball was just kind of stuck there at CeeDee Lamb the last couple games, and we'll have to see because he was able to get it to Jake Ferguson and other people. So CeeDee Lamb will be the big story there because he's going to be done for the year. One of the other guys that I feel like has been very quiet or quietly in the background is Jalen Tolbert. I had forgotten how effective in the red zone he has been. He's got about 500 yards receiving, but he has 6 touchdown passes now. And, he's been pretty effective in the background. I think that this, to me, is the time for the remaining wide receiver core to prove that they should be on a Cowboy again next year. So I really haven't been that impressed with Brandon Cooks. Flournoy's had some really big plays here and there, but I just really want to see them come up in the next game and take off and hey, let's show our value and establish ourselves kind of for going forward. With that being said, on the Tampa Bay side of the ball, I think they played a good game. I just think, like you already pointed out, they made one too many mistakes, and that's all it came down to. What is traditionally a pretty decent defense, I felt like made again that whole one too many mistakes thing, and then on offense, I think Baker had that interception with Lewis, and it's just one too many. So with the defense playing where we're getting 4 sacks, an interception, and 3 forced fumbles in a game, there's going to be a lot of games that are achievable, that are reachable. They just don't matter because we can't go anywhere. So yeah, I think a lot of it's encouraging. We'll see where that goes out heading into the final week. What else did you see kind of coming out of this game?
Nothing really stood out that much. To your point, like the CeeDee Lamb moving forward, the CeeDee Lamb thing getting shut down. That's gonna be tough. You're playing 2 really good opponents closing out, and it would be nice to have your best guy out there. I mean, he is at this point, without any question, the best player you have on offense. And he's Cooper Rush's favorite. Like, he's like, oh, good, the number 1 receiver. I'll throw it to him. And it works. So that is troubling. But we'll see. We'll see what they can do. Otherwise, they're going to have to switch up their game a little bit. Surprise, I think it's the Eagles and the Commanders, if I remember the order correctly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And all of a sudden, the Eagles are achievable. All of a sudden, the Eagles are vulnerable.
Yep.
And still can't go anywhere.
Yeah. No, exactly. So, I who knows? I expect a pretty good show, and if nothing else, your defense should be able to maybe keep Saquon down. But we'll see moving into that game.
Yeah, and it's also interesting. It might as well be kind of looking to next year a little bit, just because it's that time. A bunch of the mock draft stuff that I've already seen already had the Cowboys taking a running back in the first round. Be interesting. I think Rico's shown a lot of guts kind of going into this part of the year. It'll be interesting to see how that all actually plays out, where the Cowboys as an organization value him and see his future. So yeah, we'll see how we do against them coming up. I mean, even if we're not going to playoffs, I'd love to beat them one more time. That's always a good thing. So we'll see how that all plays out.